Alright everyone, let's start off with Bitcoin, no? Now, last week when we discussed yung mga cryptocurrencies, na-mention natin na the flow was still down, no? And even though on the day itself, hindi agad nagkaroon ng baksak, as you can see, since then, patuloy na yung baba natin sa cryptos, no? Not just with Bitcoin, but with others as you'll see in a bit. Okay? Now, from the weekly chart, ang nakikita natin, number one, is we finally broke beneath yung support natin dito at 32,900. And then, na-break na rin yung support natin at 28,800. Now, we'll discuss these levels more in a bit when we go down to the daily chart. But suffice it to say, from the weekly perspective, depending on how this week closes, okay, then baka puntahan natin next will be yung 19,900 na level. Kasi from a weekly perspective, tuloy-tuloy lang yung pagtaas niya dito diba? So, there's really nothing blocking its way sa pagbaba niya. Baka balikan niya tong 19,900 and then yun yung previous high natin, diba? Ang key area nga natin before was to break above yung 20,000 ng Bitcoin, and once that happened, tumuloy-tuloy na tayo. So, hindi nakakagulat if we revisit that area once again. What price does from there will be critical. Kung mabasag natin to, then yung next real support from a weekly perspective will be itong mga highs na naiwan natin from before. Okay? And that's not gonna paint a pretty picture. Medyo malalim yun, no? Kung mangyari yun, and the way that you want to trade Bitcoin is long only, meaning by spot, no? Then it might take a while for new structure to develop na pwede nating sabihin from there na quote-unquote okay na ulit. Okay? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Kung dumabot man tayo doon, we'll rediscuss it then. But for now, the key levels we're watching is 28,819, and then to the downside is 19,924. If we can close above tong 28,800, then yung area na pwede nating matamaan to the upside will be 32,900. Now, to put more detail into our analysis, let's check it sa daily time frame. Dito sa time frame na to, mas magiging malinaw yung perspective natin. Let's zoom out muna, no, para lang makita nyo. Okay, mas magiging malinaw yung perspective natin simply because mas marami na tayong areas or key levels na pwedeng tignan. Now, as you can see dito, 'di ba? When we broke down, 'di ba? Once we broke down itong support na to at 37,393. So this happened nung May 5, no? Once we broke down, we came back. Nag-hold sandali as support tong daily level at 34,300 pero hindi nagtagal. After that, we broke beneath tong 32,900 pero dahil tuloy-tuloy siya, nung nag-pullback tayo dito, ano nangyari? It almost came back and revisited tong 37,300 na level natin. Almost came back to this level of supply. Unfortunately, doon ako nakahintay, no? So as much as I would want to say na na-short ko to from here, hindi Nakahintay ako doon, nabitin ng konti, plus may spreads pa, hindi ako na-fill. Okay? And then from there, we just push lower, tuloy-tuloy. And then today, we are trading beneath yung 28,800 nga na level. Okay? So again, depending on how this week closes, we have to watch out. Ano yung mga pwedeng mangyari? Kung sabihin natin, tumuloy lang ito pababa, sa daily, meron pa tayo isang level of support. And that's at 24,100. If 24,100 breaks, doon natin possible na makita yung 19,900 na level of support that we discussed kanina. Now, to be bullish ng Bitcoin again, from where we are right now, obviously, kahit na gaano ka pa ka-bullish, kapag tinitignan mo yung chart ngayon, odds are you're thinking, this isn't gonna go up anytime soon. But what do I want to see? The very first thing that I want to see para magkaroon ako ng somewhat change of heart is ma-retake natin yung 40,000 na level. If we can come back and retake yung 40,000, then that signifies na meron tayong change in market structure. Kasi we broke yung last swing high prior to price falling down steeply, diba? If we can break up and start holding above this level, then I have to start thinking na baka may pagbabago sa overall flow natin. But right now, I think magkakasundo tayong lahat na not just sa weekly, pero pati yung daily na we discussed last week na parang baka medyo iffy, na baka may konting bullish flows. Okay? I think right now, negated na rin yon. Bearish flows na tayo on all time frames, and that includes yung 4-hour time frame na titignan natin ngayon. Okay? Now, dito sa 4-hour time frame, it's actually more of the same. Mas nakakapikon lang kasi nakikita ko gano'ng akonti na lang yung kinailangan para ma-fill ako, no? Pero hindi ako na-fill, sadly. Now, from here, it's looking like price broke down. We consolidated here, broke down again, and baka mangyari is mag-consolidate muna tayo ulit dito prior to continuation. Now, hinuhulaan ko lang na ganon kasi so far, whenever nagkakaroon tayo ng steep breaks na merong long wicks, nagkakaroon tayo ng at least temporary consolidation eh. Okay? Whether or not that's something that continues to happen remains to be seen, no? I wouldn't want to be trading that quote-unquote range. But it could happen. We could range here. Okay? And if we do end up ranging in this area, I would still advise na if you're gonna be looking for trades, you look for short signals using whatever system that you prefer to use. Kasi yun pa rin yung low-hanging fruit. Yun pa rin yung overall direction na pinupuntahan ng price. Diba? Doon patungo yung market. Yun yung quote-unquote easier trade. Huwag na nating pilitin na magpaka-genius at saluhin yung mga bounce. Kung mag-bounce man, let's look for opportunities to quote-unquote sell the dip. Pabaliktad, no? Sell the dip tayo para mapagsamantalahan natin yung overall flow na nagaganap right now sa crypto, including Bitcoin. Remember in our last session when I mentioned na parang alanganin yung itsura ng head and shoulders pattern ng Ethereum? Well, not anymore, no? So buong-buo na siya ngayon. Kitang-kita na natin kasi nabuo na talaga yung breakdown. And despite the fact na medyo mukhang kuba yung head and shoulders natin and alanganin yung pwesto ng neckline, regardless of what level you want to put the neckline at, we've broken it. Okay? Ang sabi natin nun, if we were able to break down beneath this area of support here, the next likely target would have been itong cluster of lows here around 1,730. And that's where we went, diba? That's where price went. Doon tayo nakahanap na reaction and nagkaroon tayo ng slight bounce from there. Similar to Bitcoin, from a weekly perspective, what we're looking to see is how this candle is gonna close. We don't know eh. For all we know, this could just rally up, no? And then good for everyone. Diba? Lalo na doon sa mga long. But, again, walang sense pangunahan. We need to wait and see what happens next. If sabihin natin, this can rally and close above this area, then perhaps it could come back and tag yung iniwan niyang previous level of support dito. That's where we broke down from. Mauntog dyan, then we'll reassess. Pag nag-hold and roll over, baka yun na yung quote-unquote sell the dip. Okay? Again, we have to wait and see. Kasi syempre, hindi ko naman kayang i-imagine lahat ng possible formation ng structure along the way. Diba? However, sabihin natin we close beneath this area, then the likelihood is at the very least, okay? Best case scenario, we start ranging within this area between 1,730 to 2,100. Tapos from there, we'll have to wait and see where it breaks out to the upside ba or to the downside. Ang masasabi ko lang is usually breakouts tend to happen in the direction of the overall trend, which in this case is yung flows nga natin ay pababa na. Okay? Now, if nabasag natin tong may blue zone na to, tong 1,730, our next level of support for Bitcoin will be 1,540 followed by 1,290. Now, sa daily chart naman ng Ethereum, no, parang mas nabigyan lang ng clarity yung baksak natin. Diba? We came here, nag-act siya as support sandali, we broke down, came back, almost perfectly tested tong level of support natin at 2,470. Broke beneath it, came back and tested it from underneath. Hindi nag-hold, broke down. Once we broke down, ang nangyari? Next candle, same banana. We came back and tested tong 2,160 na previous support, di ba? So again, it's very paint by numbers to. This is one of the reasons na minsan mas masarap basahin yung mga charts ng crypto kasi they tend to be technical analysis friendly, for lack of a better term. Okay? Now, from the daily time frame, there's really no change in our perspective. Same din, kung nabasag tong 1,730, the next levels to watch out for will be 1,546, followed by 1,292. Now, kung pati yung 1,292 mabasag, yes, I'll still be looking at these lows here. This is around 1,041 and this is around 913, no? Pero, I think pagka ganon, mas maganda abangan na lang siya either kapag bumalik siya dito sa area of consolidation na to or dito sa area of consolidation sa baba. Okay, bakit? Kasi by then, I would assume na since a lot of people put a lot of importance sa mga psychological numbers, a break beneath 1,000 likely won't yield positive results for Ethereum. Kung baga, people are likely to look for deeper levels na sumalo, hindi lang yung basta na sa mga 950, ganon, or something like that. They're likelier to look for deeper levels to try and catch Ethereum for a potential bounce. And that's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be a bounce. Hindi natin pwedeng i-assume na just because nag-hit sa level of support and nag-support or nag-hit sa area and nag-hold ay full-blown reversal na siya. It's gonna be a bounce trade until proven otherwise. But kung umabot man tayo do sa mga structures na yon, I am sure na i-rediscuss natin siya ulit kasi mas magkakaroon tayo ng clarity should that time come. Which leads us finally to the 4-hour time frame dito sa Ethereum. Na as you can see dito, mas naging clear cut lang yung sinabi ko, no? Also, ang gusto ko ipakita dito is I've marked out this red area. Okay? Bakit ko minark out yung red area na yan? Kasi para sa akin, the bare minimum na I'll start looking for longs again. Tapos when I say long, mga mabilisang trade lang, level to level, is if we can come back and break above this red zone. Okay? If we can come back and break above this red zone, number one, iisipin ko, possible ba na magko-form tayo ng inverted head and shoulders dito? Number two, kung mag-hold to, tas we start pushing higher, iisipin ko, maybe we come back and tag tong 2,714 na level. But until then, until ma-reclaim natin tong red zone na to, at least for now, given the current structure, wala muna akong gagawin. Kung maghanap man ako ng trade, it will still be mostly short. Okay? Pero right now, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, wala akong magandang level na inaantayan for that potential short to happen just yet. It's in the middle of medyo nowhere. Diba? Parang we're trapped in this area of chop from before. So, walang clear-cut na area na masasabi ko na, hey, you know what? I want a short right here. I think I need to wait for more structure to develop bago ko ma-ascertain saan ko gusto maghintay. Finally, tignan po natin yung Luna, no? So Luna, medyo bukang bibig siya ngayon ng lahat ng tao. And we're not gonna go deep into the story on why siya biglang bumaksak. Diba? Parang pati yung stable coin niya, quote and quote, naging unstable coin, no? But essentially, what we're looking at right now is ang laki, sobrang na binaksak niya. So remember, just a few days ago, we were trading around 70 something. And right now, as of this recording, we are at around 3 cents. Okay? We are at an all-time low. Kasi yung previous low natin, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, was around 10 cents. Now, kung mali ako, please feel free to let me know, no? Kasi wala na eh. Hanggang dito lang yung chart na binibigay sa akin ng TradingView eh. So if I'm wrong, kunyari kulang pala tong chart na to, let me know. But for now, based on this chart, we are printing at new all-time lows. Okay? Now, ano yung masasabi natin sa ganitong type of chart? Number one, if you're looking to trade this long simply because, kasi wala nang ibababayan eh, hindi naman yan magsi-zero. Okay? Number one, napakaraming decimal points ng crypto. So, it might as well be zero. Okay? So that's one thing, no? The other thing is, you need to understand na even if you were to trade this, saan tayo may possible na untog. Now, I wanted to show you the daily chart first kasi I wanted to show yung depth ng binaksak natin. Okay? Kasi I wanted to remind people lang of the possible risk that they take when they trade. Okay? Even when they invest. Now, for crypto, a lot of people entered mga ibang coins as an investment, meaning hahayaan lang nila. They try to ignore yung mga fluctuations along the way and then they hope na in a year or two or maybe kahit na mas maikling panahon ay bigla tong pipitek at kikita sila ng malaki. Ang masama pa nun is there are instances where they will use leverage in the wrong way. At kapag nangyayari yon, talagang todo sunog. Nasunog na nga yung account mo, may chance pa na may utang ka pa sa broker mo. Okay? Kapag ganitong kalalaking drop, slippage is almost always there. Okay? Hindi mo maiiwasan kasi sobrang bilis eh. Okay? Now, let's move down sa hourly time frame for this particular instance para lang maintindihan natin yung possible na galaw ng price. Now, where we are, let's say na price can come back and retake itong level na to, no? Which is around 1.54. Okay? Medyo malayo eh. Kasi kung ma-retake natin tong 42 cents, okay, ang next na pwede nating mauntog will be itong level sa taas, which is 1.04. It's actually very hard to read due to the nature ng chart. So let's go down even further, no? Let's try to do it like this. Okay, sorry, di ko ito pinapractice eh, no? Now, if we can come back and retake tong 0.10, diba? Then we might come back and revisit either itong mga highs na to, okay, which is around 42 nga, as I mentioned, or pwede nating balikan tong inflection point na to, around 67. Something like that. Even all the way back up sa cluster of lows na naiwan dito at 1.04. Now, I'm not gonna say more than that because minsan, I get misconstrued and people think na, oh, pupunta raw tayo na 1.04. It's not. Okay, I am not saying that. I am saying, essentially, na in order for that to happen, ang daming kailangan mangyari. First, kailangan mabasag, ma-reclaim tong 0.10. Next, kailangan mabasag tong inflection point na to around 20 cents. Pag nabasag yan, yun nga, 42 potentially yung pwedeng next. Pero dahil sa dami ng naipit, hindi mo alam kung saan ka makakabenta ng matino. Baka matulog ka lang, mag-hit sa target mo, or mabitin ng konti. It's pagising mo, nasa bagong low na naman tayo. Nasa bagong level na naman tayo na decimal point. Okay? Kasi again, hindi naman nga nagsi-zero eh. Hindi nga siya nag-zero, but we keep moving decimal points. So, kung kunyari 0.00002 na, it might as well be zero. Diba? Buying just because it's cheap, pero wala ka namang signal na kahit na ano, using whatever system that you choose to employ is a good means to burn your account. Kung kunwari bumili ka dito around 25 cents, 20 cents, 10 cents, thinking na we're gonna push higher from there, even at 10 cents na bumili ka, which was the all-time low before, diba? You're already down by so much, by like 70%. Diba? Dahil lang dun sa intrinsic value niya right now. Okay, so konting ingat lang po dito sa Luna kung gusto nyo sumalo. Make sure you understand the risk. Kung naintindihan nyo yung risk, willing nyo isugal yung certain percentage ng portfolio nyo to see if price can move higher, tangkap nyo na kahit na mag-zero to, okay lang sa inyo. Then, syempre, choice nyo yun. Kasi syempre, there's always a possibility naman na makatch nyo yung low, then it moves higher from there. But for me, personally, how it's looking, it's just grinding downwards eh. Diba? It's just grinding downwards and it doesn't even look like the grinding is done. It just keeps grinding on and on and on. Okay? Whether or not we can even reclaim tong 10 cents, 11 cents na area, hindi natin masabi. Diba? We'll have to wait and see. A more prudent approach para sa akin will be to wait and see kung nare-retake tong mga levels na to. Kung magkaroon tayo ng kahit na some type of reversal sa lower time frames man lang, then at least may pwede tayong sandalan, di ba? Pero wala eh. So far, wala talaga eh. Di ba? Like ito, nag-breakdown siya dito. Ito yung swing high natin. We never broke above it. We came close to breaking above it, but we didn't. Then we just rolled over again. So dito, we need to come back and retake yun nga, mga 10, 11, for at least to have a chance na mag-push man lang ng konti sana ulit pataas. Kasi right now, medyo dehado talaga siya. Now, am I saying na patay na talaga to? As you guys know, hindi ako masyadong magaling when it comes to mga fundamental things. So I am not gonna speak on them kasi wala naman akong authority on that eh. Baka mapahamak ko lang kayo lalo. But from a purely technical perspective, ang pinaka masasabi ko lang dito sa Luna is hindi po masama na maghintay muna ng konti and then wait and see na kung may mabubuo bang structure, tas kung talagang mainipin kayo kahit sa lower time frames, at kung may nabuo na, tsaka po tayo pumasok. At least may masasandalan tayo, at least alam natin saan tayo magka-cut. Kasi dito, we're at all-time lows. We don't even know where to cut. Cut where? Zero? There is no zero. Diba? So, konting ingat-ingat lang po dito sa Luna. So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin, no? I hope nakatulong po to sa inyo kahit konti and may natutunan kayo kahit papano. And if so, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!